sisters of my heart. My name is Publio. I'm going to play and sing a couple of songs to help me, to help you, to help us to harmonize ourselves, to prepare for the Spiritism talk tonight. So the first song called Vibration, and goes like this. When life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It's time to love one another. It's time to take part. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Now I'm gonna sing a song that really calmed me down. If I close my eyes to pray, I heard the sound of the sea far away. If I close my eyes to pray,
glowing seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. You will see that behind every sight there's a flame shining bright, tiny spark created by God. I will follow your path, Father, 'cause nobody's alone in life, and the scars of my destiny will be healed by your love. Disseminate wherever you are, glowing seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. As our Master Jesus taught.
Another day, another flower, another minute past the hour. Someday the sky is blue, and suddenly we can't see through. And every day is a fresh new start. When the sun turns off the moonlight, we get another chance to choose the road we want to cruise. And on the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road, a new beginning calling after every end. There are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win in the new round. On the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road, and a new beginning calling after every end. And there are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round.
mother Zephyrina. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades flowing down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. Oh, my mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian, make your small son a good Christian. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades flowing down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. Oh, my mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian, make your small son a good Christian.
Hello, friends. Good evening. How is everyone doing today? Thank you so much for joining us. We are so glad that you are joining us here today for our public meeting. So, as always, we want to remind you to really find a quiet place if you can during this time, to turn off your phone notifications, to really try to not be distracted so that you can enjoy, this time together. So our meeting format, it's around 30 minutes presentation and then 10 minutes question and answers and our spiritual care. So a part of our spiritual care is the magnetization of water. So we invite you to set aside right now a container with drinkable water, with potable water that you and your family can drink during the spiritual treatment. Our program, it's live every Tuesday. And we welcome you if you are watching this live, or if you are watching, later on demand, or in our retransmission by our friends of Kardec Radio on Saturdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time through their Facebook and YouTube. We have a course that is free, that is online, very easy then, right, to follow, to participate. And that is a very good option for you that wants to learn more about Spiritism. So the name of the course is Get to Know Spiritism. We'll be starting a new cohort of students September 2025, so next month. So please stay tuned for more information in how you can register and get more information. We also want to do a very special invitation for all of you. So we want to invite you to our Alta de Souza Fraternal meeting of 2025. So we have an annual meeting, and this time it's going to be on August 16th and 17th in Winnipeg. So please come and join us. And the theme for this year, it's World Peace Starts With You. So everybody is invited. Please use the QR code or the link we provide and come participate with us. We will be so happy to have you. We also offer gospel at home. So the gospel at home, it's a practice of, every week for the same day and time that you set aside for you, yourself, or with your family around you, or with a friend, that you set to study and meditate the gospel of Jesus at your home, right? And so we can help you get it started, get um, into the habit, maintain it. Is so if you need some help with that, let us know and we'll be happy to help you get it set and maintained. It's a short amount of time, 15-20 minutes, no more than 30 minutes every week that you set aside to pray, in your house, in your home environment, and to meditate in the words of the gospel and how that can influence your life, our day-to-day life. We also have our vibration books. That is actually an online book. It is confidential, and in this book, you can add names, your name, names of friends. It can be names of incarnate or discarnate that need prayer. So this is our prayer book. So please use the link in the chat and then add the names of the people you would like us to pray for. But today we are here for our talk tonight. So the talk for tonight is the law of equality from the Spiritist book. And as always, we love your comments and your questions. So please put them in the chat and we will address them at the end of the talk. Our friend today that is going to come and talk to us is Lucas. But before I bring him here, we'll do our opening prayer and get it all set for our public meeting of tonight. So I invite everybody to take this moment and disconnect from all the distractions of the day, to feel where you are, to be conscious of and present where you are right now, but at the same time, letting go of all the other worries of our earthly life and really concentrating on the vibrations that come from our Master Jesus, those vibrations of peace, of love, of light, and let those vibrations get us in a very calm state, in a faithful state, in a state of receiving his message receiving the benefits, all the good energy from the spiritual realm. Let's all join our hearts together and honor God for his love, his justice, and his mercy. And may the love of God be spread throughout this earth, wherever it may be needed. May people feel this love of God and make good choices. And may we never give up, give in, or feel hopeless. So may God help us, help our families, and may we enjoy this time here together, nurturing our souls and working on the betterment of our spirits. So be it. All right. So now we invite our friend Lucas. How are you?
Hi, Anna. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
No
It's so
problem.
nice to be
We
back.
love having you here. So I'll be back later.
Sure, no
Thank
problem. Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you, Marceli, Rodrigo, Publio, for this opportunity to be here again talking about the divine laws, right? The moral laws of life. I spoke maybe I don't remember 2 months ago, I believe, about the law of progress. So that's one of the divine laws. And of course, when I spoke about the divine laws, the law of progress, if you remember, of course, if you watched the video, I said that that law is fulfilled when we do what God wants, right? When we progress together, right? So we need each other. And I love the divine laws, the laws of work, labor, the laws of reproduction, but they don't work by themselves. We need other laws, and they each create this environment that helps us learn, progress. Today, we're going to be talking about the law of equality, right? Because we've been fighting for equality for centuries, right? And then now we have realized that we're also different. We cherish diversity. We've been talking about diversity all the time, everywhere we go, at work, and that's important. Uh, but then we think, if we're so different, why is there a law of equality? Are we all the same? So Kardec, of course, when he knew that he had to talk about these laws, and the equality was one of them, he asked the spirits, like this question 803: Are all people equal before God? So are we equal before God, all of us, everyone, all the creatures? And the spirits, of course, they answered, and the answer is yes, and all tend the same goal. God has made the divine laws for everybody. You often say the sun shines the same on everyone at a state, and state a greater and more general truth that you might think. And they continued, of course, and explained that everybody is subject to the same laws of nature, to the divine laws. We're all born with the same fragility. We are all subject to the same sufferings. The bodies of the rich decompose like the bodies of the poor. Therefore, God has not granted a natural superiority to anyone, either by birth or by death. Everyone is equal before God. So that's what the spirits answered. And of course, if we think it that way, we all get sick, we all die, all of us. There's no one single person that's special that will never die, or that will never get sick, or will never suffer, will never feel any pain. Everybody's going to grow. And so before God, of course, now we know we are equal. But what about amongst men? With our friends, with our families, we look so different, right? Of course, we all get sick, we all die, we all have the same fragilities. But the law of equality actually resumes what we previously saw on the Spirit's book, right? We are all created simply and ignorant. All of us, all the spirits are created simple and ignorant. So that's our beginning. But then we learn from, of course, the same laws, all the questions we've read before, that evolution is a determinism in God's law. So everything is going to evolve. The universe is going to evolve. We are going to evolve. The planet. And we're going to progress as well. So the difference between evolution and progress is that evolution is not under our control. We're all going to evolve. The planet, it's based on the natural laws, whereas progress is something under our control. We can progress faster or slower depending on our will, right? And that's linked perhaps more to like moral progress or intellectual progress. But of course, based on this morality and science, for example, intellectual, we can also evolve the planet and our bodies, for example. That's possible. That's what science does to us, medicine does to us. And we also learned that everybody has the same potential, and also that everybody will achieve perfection. So what do we have here? We learn now that the law of spiritual equality, it teaches us that God created all spirits equal, but some of them made a greater or lesser sum of acquisitions, right? The difference between these spirits lies in the diversity of degrees of experience and will which they act. So some choose to act faster, some choose to learn more, some are lazy, or some are, they just don't understand yet. They need to progress, they need to evolve. And then they might think, well, I'll do that later, but it's up to us, right? So again, we are created equal and we have the same goal, which is to achieve perfection. What is in between? So what we learn here, what's in between these two is what makes us different. That's this, when we talk about equality, that's what's in between, right? That's what characterizes as human beings. So our aptitudes, our abilities, our knowledge. So of course, Kardec wanted to understand more, and then he asked the spirits. The next question is 804. He asked, why hasn't God endowed everyone with the same aptitudes? Translating, why isn't everyone born with the same abilities, right? Why wasn't everybody born healthy and rich with the same knowledge, abilities? So again, God created us all equal, but each one of us, depending on when we were created, maybe shorter or a long time ago, because of that, consequently, we have more or less aptitudes, more abilities. We chose again to learn more about morality, more about intellectual facts. The difference then lies in the degree of experience and volition. So we have free will. So again, beginning and ending is the same for everyone, but what's in the middle, what's in between, it's up to us. We have free will. So some people advance more rapidly, endowing them with a wide range of aptitudes. Whereas again, some people, they choose just to stagnate sometimes. But it's not God that wants that, it's us. So this mix of aptitudes, of abilities, of knowledge is necessary so that everyone may contribute to the designs of providence within the limits of development, of course, of their physical and intellectual powers. When we study the divine law of labor, we know that not everyone has the same aptitude, right? That's the same thing we see in the law of labor. Some people can do a few things, some people can do other things. So what I cannot do, maybe Marceli, my friend, can do. What Marceli cannot do, then maybe I can do, and we can help each other. Why is that important? It is important because then we can all contribute to evolution, to the designs of providence. We all have a useful function. And then we can share, we can also learn how to help each other, charity, love, justice. If we all had the same abilities and opportunities and everything else the same, we wouldn't need anyone's help, right? We would be doing everything by ourselves. So now that we know that we all have different aptitudes and knowledge, morality, different functions, Kardec also asked about something that's very important, and we constantly ask ourselves. Like, what's going on with the world? Why are some people poor? Why are some people rich? Why some face a lot of difficulties? Social inequalities, right? Especially if you come from a country, from a place where uh, everything is so unequal, right? A lot of disparities, a lot of injustice. So Kardec asked to the spirits, is the inequality of social conditions a law of nature? So is it nature that wants us to be so unequal? Is it something that God wants? Then the spirits, of course, they answered wisely. They said no. It is the work of humankind, not God. So God does not want us to be different or to suffer, or some people to have more, some people less. We want that. We choose that, right? Based on what we want to go through. And then he continues asking on the same question: is this inequality going to disappear someday? So if we think to ourselves, like, is this world going to be any better, less unequal? Everybody's going to have same opportunities. And then they answered, only God's laws are eternal. So our laws, what we do here, that's not eternal. That's temporary. And they continue saying that, don't you see inequalities disappearing little by little every day? They are destined to disappear together with the predominance of pride and selfishness, leaving only the different levels of merit. So we actually can see that. Of course, if we pay attention to what the world was like 50, 100, 200 years ago, you see that a lot is already so much better, right? We have social insurance, we have social programs, we help each other, we have not-for-profit charity institutions that are everywhere helping people in need. We have governments trying to make the lives of people better. We also care about what's going on in the world with people from, the other side of the planet. So of course, there's still a lot to change, a lot to fix, but it is already so much better compared to what we had in the past. So of course, the world is changing. We're becoming a world of not we are now a trials of regeneration planet, but we're becoming a planet of regeneration. So slowly, day by day, decade by decade, change by change, baby steps, things are getting better. They say also that the day will come when the members of the great family of God's children will no longer regard themselves as being of pure or less pure blood, because only the spirit is pure or less pure, and such does not depend on social position. Of course, we still see castes. We still see people that think, oh, I come from this family, I come from this place, then I have a social or, pure blood, as they used to say. We know that everybody has the same blood and we all get sick. We all get the same diseases. But what can get pure is the spirit, and that's the only thing. So Kardec continues trying to understand even more about social inequalities. And then he asks the spirits, and that's in the question 811. He asks, is absolute equality of wealth possible? And has it ever existed? So is it possible for everyone to be rich or wealthy or have the same opportunities? I'm talking about material opportunities, of course. And has it ever existed? Of course, we know that never existed. We're still on this planet full of tragedies, social inequalities, problems, sometimes destruction. And then the spirit said that, no, it's not possible. And why? They said it's because of the diversity of faculties and characters. So these diversity of faculties and characters, it opposes this 100% equality. So also then he asked, nevertheless, there are people who believe it to be the remedy for all social ills. What do you think of that? And it's interesting that every time Kardec asks, what do you think of that? He asks the spirits. He wants to know, like, is that true? Am I right? So, of course, the spirits wise, and they were really nice, and they said they are either framers or theories, or they are ambitious or envious. They do not understand that equality would be quickly broken by the very force of things. Fight selfishness, for that is your social plague. So if we could, let's say, divide all the money in the world right now and everybody had the same, in probably a few days or a few weeks, everything would be as is right now again. Why? Because we want what everyone wants. We always want more. If we all had the same amount of money, then some people would want more, and then some people would want less. And then, if you remember the parable of talents, some people would use that talent, that money, the resources they had to build more, to do more. While some people, they wouldn't do anything. Some people would just wait. And then things would change. And that's what happens right now. So it's not a matter of just dividing everything equally, because we are not the same. We are different. Of course, before God, we are the same. But we have different faculties, different characters, different abilities. And we have right now what we need to be better, to learn, to develop our personalities. So if we have a lot of money, if we have less money, if we're, opportunities, it's because we need that. So Spiritism, it teaches us that before God, all men are equal because we have the same beginning and we are destined without exception to the same end, which is glory and happiness. We know that one day we're going to move maybe to another orb, another planet, a happy world, right? But the difference between us, whether in intelligence or morality, it does not derive from our inner nature. So where does it come from, all this difference? It results in the fact that we are created more or less time ago. God is constantly creating, and spirits are coming to existence all the time. The ones that were created more recently, they probably still have more to learn, right? They have been through less experiences, material and or spiritual experiences. So they need more. And the ones that were created longer, then of course they have more aptitudes, they have more virtues, which are intrinsic to them. So, and of course, again, what we do with our time, the good or the bad use of our time, that's again on us. And that's what makes the difference between us. So this absolute inequality we saw here when it comes to religion, it wouldn't be valid. But what about in sociology? If we think philosophically, like Spiritism also thinks that way, it's also not possible. Again, because the diversity of faculties would oppose to it. As many voices, philosophical voices, said that before, more than a century ago. So ambition and envy of some, added to the idealism of others, it makes many dream of a chimerical equality of wealth. So if it were to materialize again, it wouldn't last long, right? So that's what the Spirit said. That does not mean, however, that we shouldn't fight inequality, that the flaws of social economic structure, they shouldn't be fought. So we are responsible for much of the suffering we go through. But of course, we can help ourselves and we can help others. So it's our duty to try and fight harder and keep trying to have a better and more equal society. We need to all strive to improve the earthly institutions, enabling us to achieve a situation in which privileges of caste or birth are abolished, prejudices of color, race, sex, creed are extinguished, and educational opportunities are available to everyone who desire. Of course, especially here where we are right now in Canada, we do have more opportunities because many before us, they fought for it, and we're still trying to change things and improve things. And we must keep trying to improve everything. Human laws, our knowledge, our morality, leading to, the exact fulfillment of God's laws, helping our neighbors, treating our neighbors the way we want it to be treated. And then, of course, God. So reincarnation is a divine tool that provides another chance to see from different points of view. So sometimes we're born poor, sometimes we're born rich, we're a man, a woman, and we're sick. And then we're giving different rewards according to our merits. So that's what teaches us. So we must understand that whatever position we find ourselves in, all men, these are words of Emmanuel, all men are proletarians of evolution. So the diversity of functions in the social complex is as indispensable to harmony as the varied purposes of the organs are to the balance of our organism. So we have our brain, our heart, lungs, liver. They're all as important because each of them, they have different functions. And same as us, we all have different functions when it comes to our society, to our groups, to our family, and then we can make the difference. So Emmanuel said, and we think a lot about, like, when we go to work, why is my boss making more money? Why is my boss, my manager, working less? Why am I working so much while some colleagues, well, they've been there longer. They might know something you don't, right? They might have more experience. So Emmanuel said as well, may those in leadership know how to love, and those in execution never hate. Because that happens sometimes, right? We feel this anger and we hate our bosses or whoever is in charge, whoever has the power, our politicians, and sometimes they just ignore us. And now when they don't know how to love, they don't know how to execute in a way that they treat everyone equally. So when selfishness and pride cease to be predominant feelings on earth, then maybe, of course, we understand that we're all brothers and sisters. We'll find employment suited to everyone's abilities. And we can see that in the law of work. You might not find something you like, but you might find something that it suits you better because based on your abilities, your experience, everything else in life. So each soul goes as far as it can. So everyone has a different journey. Some can walk faster, but some cannot even walk. And we must respect that. We must respect that difference. We must understand that maybe now I cannot work for some reason because I'm sick, because I'm too tired, I'm old. And then society, because we also studied a lot of society, and we learned that society has to help each other. We're not an island. We cannot live together. So we have to work together, we have to live together and learn from each other, help each other. So if one cannot work or do whatever their function is, society or us, everyone, we need to step in and help. So no one is in a position of privilege while on material vacation. So our triumphs and galas, highlights and fortune, health and leisure does not mean undue conditions that someone can enjoy without the burden of responsibility. Because what we have here, good or bad, is also a strong, powerful responsibility. So if we have more money than others, more resources, more time, these are loans. So they are superior loans, and they lead to significant acquisitions, which very often we don't know how to use. So if we have more resources, time, money, we also have more responsibilities. If we have more knowledge and we are in a position where we can teach people, help people, more responsibilities. So these are tests for those who hold titles and laurels, good and coins, as an example of sublime mercy. So God gives us this opportunity so we can train ourselves in the usage of the resources we are provided. This leads us into happiness or delusion, depending on the direction we decide to give to our vulnerable possessions. We're not going to bring anything we have right now to the other side when we discarnate. So we have to do good use of what we have right now. That's the only opportunity. Of course, we're going to reincarnate and have another opportunity. But again, we walk our pace. We can choose to walk fast or slow. Earthly joys, and if we think of people that have a lot of money, a lot of power, that can easily turn into sorrows. Honors and glories, they are transmuted into bitterness and disappointment. Coins, titles, they are all consumed and will disappear. Health and leisure will pass away. Well, while physical life is extinguished. Only what we did here with our possessions will endure. What was stored in blessings, everything that we shared in the name of love, multiplying hope, peace, only that will endure. So, besides the question 814 of the Spirit's book, it teaches us that the trials of wealth and poverty are chosen by us before we come back to earth. So before we reincarnate again, we choose the trials and tournaments we're going to go through. We choose to come to a poor family. We choose to having like more or less opportunities, wealth. Oh, I want to work more. I want to work harder because I need, I need to work harder. I need to help more people. I need to be more patient. So we choose all of that. So the question is the following, 814. Why has God bestowed wealth and power on some and poverty on others? So why did God make some people rich, some people poor? And then they said, in order to test everyone differently. Moreover, as you know, such trials are chosen by the spirits themselves, and they often fail at them. So again, these are opportunities. Sometimes we become poor, so we know how to be resilient, how to keep trying and have faith. But sometimes we're born very rich, wealthy, and so we can be tested, and we usually fail because we think, oh, maybe if I'm born rich, things would be easier. So what would be easier, being poor, being rich? That's the next question, 815. Which of the two trials is more dangerous to humans, poverty or wealth? And that's what they answer here. They are equally so. So both are dangerous. Poverty provokes complaining against providence, whereas wealth leads to all kinds of excesses. So again, when we have everything we need, what do we want? We want more. We want a more expensive car, a bigger home, the better cell phone. We want more money in our accounts. Do we need that? But we always want more. So that being rich could provoke a lot of excesses. And that's what we see very often, like very rich, wealthy people, powerful people. They want the most expensive yacht. They want the mansions, and they don't need that. Some people are just happy with a little farm or something, whatever they have. So again, that's the trial. Both are very challenging. God tests the poor through resignation, and the wealth through the use we make of their wealth and power. But well-being is relative, and everyone could enjoy well-being. So we don't need a lot of money. Not everybody needs a lot of money. Most people don't need even a lot, like to be happy, to be well. If we could just share what everyone needs, if we could be just fair, of course, with our distribution of wealth, then everybody would have a happy life. Everybody would be fine. Because again, as long as we employ our time according to our likings, if we can spend more time with our families, doing something we love, we would be happy, right? Why do we need more? Why do we want more? That's because we're still very selfish. We have different aptitudes. So if we were doing that, there would be no useful work. Therefore, it would be left undone. So everybody would do what they had to do. Everybody would be happy. Social justice, less inequalities, and the world would be a better place. And last but not least, I want to talk about something that we've been thinking about a lot as a society. That's the equality between men and women, right? So everybody's fighting, all societies, not everyone, of course, on the planet, because they're not ready yet to understand the divine laws. But in general, most groups, societies, countries, we've been trying to have a more equal society between men and women, right? And of course, Kardec asked that almost 200 years ago. He asked, are men and women equal before God? And do they have the same rights? Well, the answer was, of course, another question. Hasn't God given them both the knowledge of good and evil and the faculties for progress? So that's obvious. We were given the same knowledge, the same opportunities. However, we as a society, as humankind, we changed that. And we had people working as slaves. We had men treating women as sometimes not a citizen or without respect they deserved. So we turned that into something bad. But that's not what God wanted. That's not what the divine laws uh, teach teach us. We are all the same, men and women, before God as a spirit. Also, because as a spirit we have no sex. We can come as a man. We can come back as a woman in the future because we have different things to learn. So then he continues, question 819, and asks, for what purpose are women physically weaker than men? Of course, I know a lot of women that are much stronger than most men, of course, but in general, right? We can say that women are physically less strong. And then the spirits answered, to assign special functions to them. Men are meant for rough work by being stronger, in general, of course. Women for lighter work, but both mutually help each other in the trials of a life full of bitterness. So, and that, of course, leads to us, and Kardec also asked that to the spirits. So, doesn't that fragility, that weakness, as he said, make women naturally dependent on men? I know a lot of women that are so strong. They do everything by themselves. They take care of their children, their homes. They work hard themselves. They have friends, society. They do more than men. So I don't think women are necessarily dependent on men. Maybe we, as men, as a society, we wanted women to be dependent on us. We forced that. So the Spirit said that God has given to some strength to protect the weak, not to enslave them. So, and God has fitted the organization of each sex for the function it must perform. So, if there's some fragility in women, it's because women need that to teach us, to take care of us, and that's what we see, right? Our mothers, aunts, grandmother, they're so strong and they teach us so much, right? So another question they ask: are the functions for which women are intended by nature as important as those conferred upon men? And the Spirit said, yes, and even greater. Women give men the first notions of life. First of all, they give us life, right? Women gives us birth. They suffer by doing that. They have a lot of pain. They go through a lot of pain, and then they teach us love, something that, of course, we can learn as men, but as a woman, with this fragility, with this motherhood, sisterhood, we can learn so much. So sometimes we will come as a woman to learn about this maternal love, but sometimes we come as a man to learn about strength, and other abilities, that functions that men can have. So we're all here to learn, and we can learn equally from being a man, from being a woman, and that doesn't mean that we are better or worse. We're all the same. We're equally before God, and that should be represented in the human laws. We know, of course, in many countries the laws are the same for men and women, but we still know that in some countries it's not, that doesn't happen. That women suffer more than men because the laws don't represent them. And of course, if we're the same before God, we should be the same before each other. But again, Kardec asked, since all people are equal before God's law, shouldn't they also be equal before human law? And that's obvious, right? So they said, this is the first principle of justice. Do not do unto others what you do not want them to do unto you. But we know, unfortunately, there's still a lot to improve, a lot to fix, and there are places where women suffer more than men, or other types of minorities, they suffer more. But we're equal before God, and we should be equal before each other. The law should represent all of us, despite the fact that we have more or less fragility or experience or knowledge. We should all be given same opportunities according to our merit. So equality of rights, yes, equality of functions? No, because we have different functions. Again, some people know more, some people can do more, some people can do less. But everyone must have their specific place in our society. And our occupations should reflect our aptitude. So, in order to be just, human law must consecrate the equality of rights between men and women, between anyone, everyone. Any special privilege granted to one and not the other is contrary to justice, to the law of justice, another divine law that explains that there can be no justice without love, and there can be no justice without love and charity. That's why the last law is the law of justice, love, and charity. So that's it for today. I'm glad I could bring more about the divine laws. Hopefully, I can come back another time to talk about the next one. Do you guys have any questions? Let me know, please. I can't hear you, Anna. I think you're muted.
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry. So yeah, we have a couple of questions, but also I was, just thinking it's some of the things when I started studying Spiritism, and one of the things that really I remember that, caused me pause was when I read this question that said, what if we divided, right? Everybody had the same amount of money, like you're saying, would it solve all the problems? And then I was thinking, okay, the answer is going to be yes. We just divided, but the answer is no, because if we don't change, right? So it's not about the structure, it's about us. If we, like in the question says, if we are not selfish, then it doesn't matter that one has more and one has less. This one will give more to this, and things will be a little bit more equal, right? But even if you give the same amount of money, some people are just gonna use it and say, okay, I'm gonna use it all, and
Spend it right
others,
away.
yeah,
Yeah.
right away, like, we only live once. Some people believe that. We believe we live many lives, but so, and others, like you said, will probably just sit on it and then just spend a little bit, but just, and others, because we have different aptitudes, have that very business-like and industrial things. They will invent something, right? Or they will um, invest or
Yeah,
something to a
that's a
business,
great point, right?
right?
Because we have just, I'm sorry, just to complement, we have people that are extremely wealthy nowadays in our planet. Of course, they come as a mission. They might not realize that, but with all that money, with all that power and opportunities, they can change the world. Like, we
Right,
have electric cars and rockets. You need a lot of money to do that. But if you
right.
don't have the money, how can you do it? Like, we're not gonna, me myself, build a rocket, or you or an electric car. So that's important. But
Mhm.
again, that's the way we use that resource, right?
Right, right. And it's all about us, right? So how we, it's about our morals too, how we use, right? The resources that we have, is small or bigger, you know. So yeah, very, very interesting. It just remind me of, when I started learning Spiritism and some of the things that I saw before. And we have a question here, maybe a question comment from our friend
Mm-hmm.
Rodrigo. I think he's trying to talk about the differences in aptitudes, right? So he's talking, would it be fair to compare that to education? That some students learn faster, others slower, and others decide not to engage in learning. So we could say that earthly experience is like a school.
Yeah, absolutely. You're totally right, because that's exactly what it is. We are here to learn, right? We're still student. We're children before God. And again, we know that sometimes we don't want to go to school. Oh, I'm lazy. I want to sleep. I want to do something else. I don't want to learn. But we know we have to. That's important, because we're going to need that in the future. When we talk about spiritually, we might not need now in this life, but the next one perhaps, or we might be able to change other people's lives by learning, by doing some more efforts. But again, it's up to us. If we want to stay home and just watch TV, that's great. But eventually you're going to pay the price for it, and it's up to us. It's not God saying, oh, you're not going to have more or less. we are here to choose, right? We
Right.
have free will. So
Right.
we're all as students learning.
Right. And we have another question from our friend Publius. So he said, so is it right to say that humankind is developing day by day, and one day we will consider everybody brothers and sisters? It will means we love one another as Jesus Christ taught us. There is a little typo there.
Yeah.
So it's, even though we are watching that in many places, it's getting harder and harder,
Yeah,
to
it's
survive.
changing slowly, and sometimes when we two steps forward and we go back another step.
I know.
So yeah, it changes. Everything changes slowly, like nature. Nothing is gonna change abruptly and transform like overnight. That doesn't happen to us. That's not gonna happen to the society, to the planet in general, right? So yeah, it's still gonna take time, but eventually, of course, everything will be better. That's the law of progress.
Right. That's why Spiritism is the consoler, right? Because it brings us
Yeah,
this consolation. It might take a good while for, especially for some of us, but we will reach there, right? That
yeah,
is there is the plan, right? The big
correct.
plan that God has for us is to really reach all that we can be, right? It
Yes.
has been a pleasure, Lucas. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I
So
really
just,
enjoyed
I
it.
think I need to do a final prayer to finalize it, or
Oh,
did you do it?
we're still, yeah, I think I can, do you
Oh, you
wanna,
continue.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll continue a little bit.
that's great. Then thank you so much for having me. I wish to be back soon with maybe
Okay.
another moral law, like another interesting
Yes,
one. I love
yes.
them.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Take care. Bye bye.
All right. So now we'll continue with our spiritual care, our part of our meeting after this great reflection led by our friend Lucas on, the one of the moral laws from the Spiritist book. But if you ask, if it's the first time you're here with us, if you ask, what is the spiritual care? So the one of the parts of our spiritual care is passes. So passes is a transfusion of spiritual energy assisting our physical, emotional, and mental balance. So the type of passes that we do here, it's a guided passes. So if you're not sure, it's your first time, just really follow the video, the words in the video, really trying to give energy, and intent to those words that you're hearing as the passes is going. Or you can just stay in prayer. If you close your eyes, that might help you with your concentration and with the mentalization. So remember the water that we ask you to set aside from the beginning. It would receive healing energy for our body and for our soul, which you and your family can benefit from. So now right before the passes, I will do our prayer, and it will be our final prayer too. So I hope you all join me with our hearts full of gratitude. We thank God that we are all equal before Him, that we are all children of God, and that God loves us as if we were single child, right? Even though we have so many brothers and sisters, God makes no difference between any of his children. But at the same time, he wants us to be us with all the good that it's in us, with the special things that makes us us, with our aptitudes, the things that we learned, the things through work and through spending time, the things that make our spirits feel happy, it may be art. For others, it might be farming. For others, it might be teaching. And He allows and gives the same importance to all these different aptitudes that God also wants us to all have the same opportunities. So I hope that in this prayer, it's our prayer for tonight, that we might feel really like we are this single child of God, that we recognize and love our brothers and sisters, but that we can feel that love that comes from God, that is so intense, that is so overwhelming, that is so encompassing, that is so fulfilling, that it feels like if we were the only child of God. It's a special bond, it's a special love, and there's nothing that can keep us away from that love. There's nothing we can say, we can do, anybody can do to us, anybody can say about us, but there's nothing that can take us away from God's love for each and every one of us. So may we take this love, this feeling of being supported, not forsaken, of being a child of God, and we use it in every moment that we need during our challenges of this earthly existence. That every minute of the day, every place that we go, every challenge we face with this certainty: I am a child of God. I am loved by God. I am worthy of love. I was created by love and for love, and there's nothing that can change that. So, with our hearts again full of gratitude, we thank Jesus and all the mentors, all our guardian angels. We ask Jesus to bless all the names in our vibration book, in our prayer book. May they all be assisted in whatever they need, not just because of their merits, Jesus, our brother, but because God's love, it's merciful and it's abundant, and this mercy lasts forever. May Jesus bless our homes, our places of work. May we all be here together in Jesus' name many, many times, and so be it.
Let's get ready for the pass and water fluidification. Please get a container with clean water to be fluidified. Brothers and sisters, it does not matter where you are, what type of hardships you are going through. Jesus is always ready to come and help us. Place yourself in a comfortable position, which can make it easy for you to reach concentration and receptiveness. Breathe slowly and easily. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Fill up your lungs with air and let it out very slowly. Let tranquility and peace energies penetrate your lungs and move throughout your body. Your soul in harmony with your body feels easy and in peace. Let's imagine Jesus' passage. A clear day, the sun's golden rays illuminate the happy passage in Capernaum. A lot of white houses, multicolored vines, and hopping birds fill the landscape with optimism. The news about cures attracted the crowd in need. Suddenly, Jesus appears slim and handsome. His tunic was hanging down to his feet. At sunset, all those with sick people hit by several illnesses would bring them, and as he placed his hands over each one, he would heal them. This is what Luke the evangelist says. Let's imagine Jesus approaching you. He holds his friendly hands over our head. Notice that from his generous hands, a waterfall with clear and pure water originated from his love come to bathe you. It flows on your head, goes down your shoulders, bathe all your being, and brings you peace, serenity, and balance. They remove all impurities and pacify you. Feel the water bathing you, cleaning. Breathe. Now, imagine Jesus as a sun before you. His light, his warmth surrounds you. Feel the healing energy that comes from Jesus towards you. He hears your prayers. Trust him. His love is endless and it follows you and protects you. It provides you with everything you need. Have faith. Absorb the healing energy from Jesus. His light surrounds you. Feel the energy going through all your body. Feel stronger and in peace. Lord Jesus, our divine friend, reach out your generous hands, Lord, and change this water into medicine for our physical and spiritual illnesses. Protect us, Jesus, with your peace. Spread those vibrations of love throughout my home, Lord. May peace, health, and tranquility reign here. We are very grateful to you, Jesus. Stay with us today and forever. Thank God. Please remember to use the fluidified water.
Friends, it's with the sweet vibrations of the passes that we bid good night to you. We ask you to follow us at Spiritism Canada, Facebook and Instagram, and the group Paths of Light. And we hope to see you again next week. May God bless you. May God bless your family. And we hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.
Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, mate, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try. Build that bridge over troubled waters, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrows, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark hole. No more fear, no more fight. Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, babe, but life to me is time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build a bridge over troubled water, fry. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling in the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling in the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. Let the sun